300 other agencies all across Minnesota will be a part of this. But still, with that being said, you mentioned being a defensive driver. I think that is some of the best advice you can give, is because all you can control is your own vehicle, what's going on that you can do. So pay attention, be attentive, and just use some good common sense.
And as far as the 100 Deadliest Days, which is another thing I wanted to talk about, we say that that normally runs through Labor Day, but this was something that we were knocking around earlier. That doesn't mean that you just get to let your guard down, right? You know, like this is a specific time of higher enforcement, but once Tuesday rolls around, you still want to be vigilant out on the roads.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of those things that unfortunately crashes happen all too often, but it's one of those things that is preventable, meaning if, again, people make good choices each and every time they get in the vehicle. And here we're wrapping up that 100 Deadliest Days of the years, and we do see an increase, unfortunately, in the number of serious injury and fatalities, and very consistent with what we've seen in the past, so we have a lot of room for improvement there. With that being said, I mean, it's one of those things to keep moving forward, and what is our goal? Towards zero deaths. Try to get just not have any fatal crashes on our roadways. And again, it starts with the choice that each and every one of us makes every time we get in the vehicle. Every person, every seat, every time.
And you talked a little bit about the extra enforcement that is going to be out this weekend. That's also something that Cass County has been out there with extra impaired checkpoints and, you know, just sobriety enforcement and everything. Is that something that Clay County / Minnesota is going to be focusing on, is a little extra checkpoint situation?
So Minnesota does not have does not participate and does not do checkpoints. What we do is just extra enforcement, extra patrol. So you will see approximately 300 other agencies all across Minnesota, including the surrounding area and region, including the Minnesota State Patrol and other local agencies looking for impaired drivers. But when you hear about these different enforcement campaigns, the goal is really never about the number of tickets we write or arrest make. It's about trying to prevent that thing. We'd rather have the conversations here than along the roadside. And
something that I kind of wanted to bring up, and I know that you guys do a lot of enforcement along the highways, but there are other areas, and especially in the more rural parts of Minnesota, when you do have those 2-lane roads, there's still houses out there, there's still people on bicycles, and we've had a lot of incidents with bicycles recently where drivers may be trying to make passing motions that they shouldn't, accidents, really unfortunate happenings end up as a result of that. So talk to me a little bit about bicycle safety and what drivers should be looking out for as far as sharing the road.
Right, well, that really comes down to just traffic safety. Is everybody sharing the roadways, with motorcyclists, bicyclists, whoever it may be. I mean, now we're also entering the harvest season. We're starting to see the wheat come off, pre-haul for sugar beets, all these things. So it's everybody sharing the roadways, to be attentive to know what's going on. Again, as I mentioned earlier, all you can do is control your vehicle. So to keep control of the vehicle, to pay attention, to understand there might be some slower moving things out there, such as bicyclists, smaller objects, but motorcyclists, and again, larger slow moving equipment such as farm tractors, semis, things like that. So just pay attention. That is some of my best advice I can give. I mean, sometimes I feel like a broken record, but it is so important to get that message out because these crashes are very preventable.
Well, it is you know, something that we have reiterated before, but it never becomes less important, because until we get down to 0 fatalities, accidents, something like that, then there's always going to be a need to put the message out there.
Correct.
So I really appreciate you stopping by. Those were the main questions that I wanted to ask you. Was there anything else that you wanted to add that I didn't say?
I think it's just be safe, be smart, don't outdrive your common sense, and get through the holiday weekend safely, and to keep moving forward each and every day by making good choices each and every time you get in that vehicle.
I know that you'll be likely busy with enforcement, but like I mentioned last time we talked was graduation season. I know you had a graduation or two to attend. Do you have any plans for the family for Labor Day weekend?
We'll just kind of see what happens. There's a lot of things going on, from lake stuff to football games and a little bit of everything. So we'll just kind of play it by ear and roll with it.
All right. Well, that was everything that we had as far as that topic goes. Again, Sergeant Jesse Grabow joining me here in studio. Always great to have his time, and a great reminder, as always, to be safe and vigilant on the roads. We're going to have more about this topic in our later shows, to make sure to come back for those 4, 5, and 6 o'clock programs. For now, signing off from the news desk at Valley News Now, Gabriel Osler, Valley News Live.